There is no other course for us but to entrust everything to the youth. This holds true for families, businesses, and countries. Youth are vitally important to the world and the human race. The key to eternal development lies in fostering, encouraging, and training youth who will lead the way to the new era. The key to eternal development lies in fostering, encouraging, and training youth who will lead the way to a new era.
It's changed my life in every way possible. I have an amazing husband that me before chanting would have never thought I could deserve. I have incredible relationships with my family that I didn't have when I first started chanting. I am happy every day, which I wasn't when I first started chanting, so chanting has absolutely transformed my life in all facets.
Chanting also helps me wake up and gets me out of foggy headedness, kind of when I'm confused or lazy or demotivated. It helps me bring me out of that.
Through chanting, really, I learned that just to love myself, and I know that seems so easy, but to really, really appreciate myself for who I am. And you know, I know that with the Gohonsen and with chanting Nam-myoho-renge-kyo, anything, I can just overcome just anything.
I chant because it works and it makes me feel, I wouldn't want to say just good, but I feel like great. It's just there's something inside me that just tells me that it's the right thing to do, and it just is what it is. I could just, things change as soon as I start chanting, so, and it's always for the better. So that's why I chant every day.
My name is Leah Johnson. I'm 28 years old. I'm a fortune baby, which means I was born into this practice. I grew up with my parents chanting and going to meetings, and I had zero interest in this organization. I thought it was incredibly cultish and overpowering, and I wanted nothing to do with it. So anytime my parents had people over, I would try to avoid by all costs to be in my house. In, forget what year it was, but my brother was being charged with double life, and my entire family kind of shifted into gear to support. And I went for guidance to my Auntie Norma, and she said, if there's anything that's going to save your brother is if you chant Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. So I was determined to support my brother, and although he's serving 16 years in prison right now, he ended up saving my life, which was going down a very deep hole when I was out of high school and going into college. Well, I got married in 2010, which my husband was my amazing benefit. I chanted a whole year for this amazing Kosen-Rufu partner to jump on this journey with me of finding and seeking amazingness. And last year, 2012, his mother died with a very tragic accident, and I'd been really chanting prior to that accident to figure out how to be an amazing wife and to be supportive, and at such a young age, it's like, what does that even mean? So when his mother passed away, I had to really take a stand for my life, and really challenged with the idea of what does power of your prayer, how far does that extend? And so I was challenged every day with a husband who doesn't practice this Buddhism, and tried to pick him up every single day and still keep focused on what we were doing. And so, we evolved together as a couple, and it was really incredible. And then in August of 2012, I lost my job that I had fought so hard for. And I went 4 months without work, and truly I think it was my benefit to lose my job, as crazy as that sounds, right? But I think that I needed to be really present to support my husband, and I went 4 months with no work, and I was able to travel and just relax which was great because I've been working since I was 13, and it was like the first 4 months of my entire life with no job, so it was really exciting. And I chanted really, really, really hard to, understand what my mission was and to figure out what I want. And my goal is to have my own events company, and I wanted to really set the groundwork to build that empire that's going to be this amazing events company. And so I had this opportunity where actually I chanted, and I had 4 job opportunities come within 1 week, which was so incredible. All 4 jobs very different, and I just had to trust my prayer that which one would lead me to my end goal. So I became a brand manager of a new tequila company, which has been overwhelming within itself. And so I thought that we had, clear home run from here. I'd struggled this whole year. We were gonna wrap it up with a new job. And then my grandfather passed away in December, and that was incredibly overwhelming and challenging as a whole. My grandfather was a pillar in our family, and so once again I had to take a stand and be strong for each and every one of my family members, and thought everyone was going to fall apart, but with this practice everyone stood tall and was strong, and we were a unit. And it took a really long time for us as a family to come together as one and feel united. And so we definitely evolved, and each one of us have been doing our human revolution, and it definitely showed during that whole process. Determined to absolutely win and be victorious this year, and the recipe to do so is obviously to chant Nam-myoho-renge-kyo, and the reason why I continue to chant is because it gives me purpose, it makes me feel alive, and when I chant, I know that no matter what, I will absolutely win.
So I started doing this cooking show, and because of it I was constantly thinking about food, and in December I decided to bake cookies for all of my agents as a Christmas gift and a Hanukkah gift, and I spent so much time baking, and I couldn't get the cookies out the door fast enough before I ate them, and I had such a hard time. I really felt crazy. I ate so much sugar in December. I gained 10 pounds. I felt awful all month. And I really started, in the midst of that, I determined that in 2013, my goal was to love myself. And I was gonna chant consistently that every day I did something that was an act of self-love, self-care, or self-appreciation. And on January 1st, I woke up, ate a ton of cookies, went on a hike, and afterwards I realized, I don't think I wanna eat sugar in January. And so I didn't eat sugar all of January, and it was incredible. Based on my prayer to love myself, my self-talk that month was so kind and so compassionate, where in the past when I had tried to go on a diet or do something like that, it was just pure hate. I was just throwing tantrums the whole time in my head. I didn't want to do it. It was this act of you're not good enough, you have to do this, this is, just all bad. And I realized that I have a total addiction to sugar. And so through that month, I continued supporting myself and being really compassionate and kind to myself. And I really realized I'm a food addict. And I grew up with addiction in my family, and I vowed never to be an addict. And I moved to LA, I've never even touched alcohol. And I realized that I am such a part of my family. I have my same family karma, and my addiction is to food. So I joined Food Addicts Anonymous, and I've been eating clean for 2 weeks, and it's been incredible. And through my prayer to truly love and support myself, I have found a part of my mission to, 1, transform my family's karma, and to 2, really support young women in this quest of self-esteem. That so many young women suffer with this lack of self-confidence and this self-hate and so much surrounded by body image, and I really feel like it's my mission to transform that in my own life and the karma of my family and for the karma of young women around the world. So this year I've really uncovered a new part of my mission for Kosen-Rufu, and I'm so excited, and that's it.
It helps me with a lot of things. So one thing is it helps bring courage out of my life. Going to work, sometimes things can be kind of stressful and I can worry about a lot of things, but when I chant, I have a much more positive outlook on things. The way the office is everyone's in their own office and there's not much interaction, and it's hard for me to interact, but I push myself and try to say hi, say goodbye, try to get lunch with people, and that sort of thing.
I'm an accountant, and I'm preparing to take my certified public accounting exam, and I've been putting this off for around like 4 years, I'd say. And through chanting, I'm really challenging myself to finally just really study and believe in myself.
This one kid was the leader of all these guys that was turning all my friends against me, and it was a horrible experience for me, and I felt alone, and I didn't have any friends or anything. And 20 years fast forward, I met this guy, the same guy that was the ringleader of being against me and the leader of the devil worshiper crew, or whatever you want to call it. And I saw him at a friend's wedding, and he came up to me and told me, Morgan, you're the first Buddhist I've ever met in my life. I'm a Buddhist now, and I want to know more about Buddhism. And I actually ended up becoming friends with the guy and talking to him about what Daishonin Buddhism is about, and it just surprised me that, full circle, the guy that was totally against me and tried to ruin my life was actually now calling himself a Buddhist and wanted to know more about it from me, the devil worshiper. So it's funny. It's just funny.
Hello, my name is Maurice Powell, and this is a wonderful practice. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Growing up in Chicago's one of the most notorious neighborhoods in Chicago, I kind of really didn't see myself living past the age of 20 years old. Before this practice, I was into a lot of things, dealing with a lot of the wrong people, being at the wrong place at the wrong time. I was caught up in, a lot of negative tendencies. I was out there gangbanging, selling drugs, and, doing a lot of things I wasn't proud of. And at the age of, in my teenage years, I was introduced to this practice from my uncle. He introduced me into Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. He gave me a Nam-myoho-renge-kyo card, and it said on the back, to enlighten your highest potential. And when I seen that, I was like, yeah, I'm all for it, And so I began to chant, and but I kind of didn't know what I was chanting for or what I was chanting about. Kind of wasn't sure what the practice was about, but I knew when I chanted, I felt something move in me that I, never felt before. So, I just felt gradually my life started to, go in a direction that I felt like it needed to go in. And so, I decided to move from Chicago to California in the year of 2011. That's when I met my good friend Chad. Chad also gave me a Nam-myoho-renge-kyo card, and he had me repeat it with him several times. I had told him that I heard about this recently before through my uncle years ago, and he said, yeah, that's cool. Why don't you come over and you chant with me for a while? So yeah, I took him up on that offer, and I went over there to chant with him over at his house, and that's when I had the privilege and the honor to meet the Gohanzen for the first time. Man, I felt like a kid on Christmas Day. I tell you, man, I was so eager, to see it. And when I seen it, I knew it was for me. So, seeing the Gohanzen and, you know, seeing the Nam-myoho-renge-kyo card, it was just like the key to the door right there. So instantly, you know, I jumped on. I started chanting hard, and my mentor Chad, you know, he pushed me. You know, he kept pushing me, and you know, kept my drive really strong. And, you know, we just fought through obstacles, you know, together, and you know, that's one of the reasons why I am who I am today. You know, and I'll say my biggest experience with Nam-myoho-renge-kyo is, you know, graduating from barber school. I got into barber school, graduated, you know, with the highest honors. I received great grades. I also was awarded a check to pay for my state board and, you know, to pay for the rest of my school fees when I graduated. So, you know, chanting for that, and, you know, it was a big victory for me. So, you know, and also, you know, my family's gotten closer. You know, I've been fighting, you know, for my family to get closer, and, you know, for things to get better in Chicago. Yeah, just that never give up attitude.
So many young women suffer from comparing themselves to others, and I am no different. And having a mentor is a consistent reminder that I have a unique mission that only I can fulfill, and I can't fulfill anybody else's mission, so comparing myself to others is pointless, and it's just an exercise in suffering. So having a mentor is super crucial to me to consistently remember that I can only support other people's mission and they can support mine, and we can't fulfill each other's, you know. We have to do it, support our own mission. So having a mentor to me helps in not comparing myself to others.
One thing that President Ikeda has said that I read in the World Tribune recently is that he wanted to rid the world of misery. And that really stuck out to me because it really shows me that I need to pay more attention to other people and be more compassionate and really care for other people. I mean, I really do now, but I know that I have the capacity to care even more and look after people and hear them out, be there for them, and just put myself out there more for other people's happiness.
To have sensei in my life it's just having that person that when I'm really feeling down, even though, you know, I don't get to talk to him directly, but just writing that letter and knowing that, you know, sensei, I'm gonna get like an answer either just by reading the World Tribune or opening, you know, any kind of essay that sensei has written, and it just brings me back to like, keep going, you know, everything is gonna get better, you know. And yes, life has struggles, but you know, we have to learn how to enjoy them, you know. As crazy as it sounds, you know, we really have to push ourselves. And, you know, having sensei, just through this recent experience I'm going through to prepare for my CPA exam, it's just like sensei has done so much, you know. And every day that I feel that I kind of do it and I want to give up, I just look at sensei and I'm like, he's still going, he's still advancing, so why can I not do that? So, you know, I'm really fortunate to have sensei in my life.
I was born into the practice, so not only do I look at President Ikeda as my mentor, but my father and my mother are also my mentors as well. And they also look at President Ikeda as their mentor. So it just keeps going back generation, and we all have, when it gets down to the bottom of it, it's, you know, Daisaku Ikeda, and then all the three presidents, then Nishin Daishonin, through you know, so on and so forth, back down to all the way back to Shakyamuni. So the basic thing that I've realized that it feels like when we have a mentor in our lives, we have a common purpose, a common goal that we can work towards, and it makes me feel like there's there's good people out there that are looking out for us.
I admire Sensei as my mentor, not because of the doctrines or the amazing conversations that he has had with the most amazing human beings in this world, but he shows me what the standard of life should be, that there are absolutely no limits, that I can do and be whoever I want, and I can do so amidst any struggle that I am challenging, no matter if death, illness, whatever it is. He shows me that I am the queen of my life.
He always, has good encouragement, that I need. Sometimes when I don't have the answer to something, or, I'm worried about a certain thing and I don't know how to handle it, I always go to Sensei, and he always points me in the right direction. And,